Hey guys, Helen Hartsmith here again from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel. I feel like I'm a little cockeyed. See if that feels better. I'm recording a video for you today doing another review for one of my tarot decks. It's actually one of my favorites. This is the Goddess Tarot deck, and this is written and illustrated by Chris Wallander. This is a deck that I've had for a number of years, and it was my favorite deck, my ultimate favorite deck for a very long time. But then I started finding some other ones, like my Steampunk deck, which is like my new favorite, and I like that Klimt deck that I got at Convocation this year too. So let's kind of jump in and talk about size. So this is the back of the card, and so I'm not sure the exact dimensions, but it's probably 3 or 4 inches by 4. It's probably 3 by 4. These are monster cards. They're very big. They're almost impeding to shuffle. If you have small hands, forget about it. But like I said, I got this years ago, and I believe that I have seen this deck in other more standard sizes too. So if you're interested in this deck, I'll do some looking, and I will put a link, of course, in the description box to kind of, if you're interested in purchasing, to maybe there's some different sizes out there, but this particular size is huge. And luckily I have big man-sized hands that I don't have much of an issue shuffling them. So that's yay for me. I will say that I purchased this larger book separately. The deck, excuse me while I bend out of frame, the deck originally came with a smaller, that I wanted a bigger book to kind of work with, and so that's why I purchased this one separately. So that's available too. Well, I'll let you know if it's still available. The sun is kind of chasing the sun with my face here, sorry. So what I did was I pulled out the major arcana and thought that I would talk to you about that and kind of share what they look like. So I actually pulled out all 22 major arcana cards and put them in numerical order. So let's start with 0. So here we have Beginnings and Tara, and Tara, of course, is the, some people, I think, connect her with the Hindu pantheon, but this book tells that she is a Tibetan goddess, and she is kind of the goddess of, new undertakings and things like that. So it made sense to me that she is the Beginnings card. And of course, 0, that 0 card is usually the Fool. But so there's a little bit, I guess I should say before I go any further that this is set up a little bit differently. All of the major arcana cards are connected with a goddess from different pantheons from around the world. So I like how inclusive it was, because they did a very good job of picking and choosing from different pantheons. So this major arcana is set up very similar, but it's not exactly the same to a standard tarot deck. So you should kind of be prepared for that. Now, the minor arcana is set up in the same way. It's the 4 traditional suits of staves, swords, pentacles, and cups. So, that stuff, that's, pretty traditional. So let's move on through the major arcana. So here we have Magic, Isis. That's kind of a no-brainer. I would definitely pick Isis. I love the detail in this. I love the hawk there. I hope it's, there we go. I'm just gonna put the cards in front of my face so that the camera will focus in on that. Yes, the Isis card is probably one of my favorites. It's just very beautiful. And here we have number 2, which is Wisdom, and that is Sarasvati. And she of course is a Hindu goddess. Beautiful, isn't she? She's the Hindu goddess of wisdom, like her. And I should say that there's some names that I'm going to attempt, and hopefully I don't completely murder them. And this one really, I tried to look up, and this one makes me nervous. So this is the third card. This is fertility, and this is Estan. I gotta look at it. Estan at Lehu, Luhi. Estan at Luhi. And she is a corn goddess, and I believe she is from the Navajo. Yes, the Navajo goddess of corn. So it very much makes sense to me that a vegetation goddess would be the goddess for the fertility card. Very, very, very much makes sense. Here we have number 4, which is power, and that is Freya, one of my favorites, of course, from the Norse pantheon. And of course, as a Norse goddess, she's very much in the heat of battle with things and very much a warrior in her own right. So it made sense to me that power, very good choices Chris made on selecting these goddesses for these cards. I mean, I don't think there's a one that I was like, why'd you do that? Here we have number 5, and that's tradition, Juno. And of course, Juno is the Roman equivalent to Hera. I think that's a beautiful depiction of Juno, very regal as she sits on her little throne there with the moon. Yes, the moon coming through the little window just above her head. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. And 5, so in the book they do tell you, so Freya takes the place of the traditional card, the Emperor, and Juno is taking the place of the Hierophant. So I'll try to bounce back and forth to kind of share those replacements with you. Here we have number 6, and that is love. And of course, we have to have Venus, aka Aphrodite. Beautiful. I mean, the detail, it's insane. I love the rose bush in the background there, and she's of course holding some roses. Beautiful, beautiful. And it makes sense that that's probably the Lover's card that's taking the place of. Rhiannon is next. Let's see if I can just hold all this stuff and juggle it. So Rhiannon, sorry if you hear the dog in the background. That's a neighbor. So Rhiannon is the movement card, which is taking the place of the Chariot. She, of course, is a horse goddess. Again, makes complete sense to me. I love how there's like some mystical, almost mist coming off the legs of the horse. Gorgeous. Oh, I thought I heard someone. I thought that maybe the roomie was home. We're in a race against time. Let's see, shall we finish before she gets home? Meh, who knows? So, okay, so the next card is the same. This is Justice. So this is Athena, of course, you know, a goddess of justice and wisdom. This is a great depiction of her. I mean, insane. Uh-oh, I think we ran out of time. She's home. The next card is Contemplation. Is that, I think that's focusing, yes. And that's Chang-O. And Chang-O is a Japanese goddess. Japanese goddess of, she's the moon goddess. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. The next card is Fortune, and that's Lakshmi. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful bird. Love that. Next we have Strength and Oya. I mean, doesn't she look powerful? Oh, man. Yeah, I love that dress. I love her headpiece. I love the antelope running behind her. Oh, she's good. And sacrifice, Kuan Yin. Perfect choice for sacrifice, Kuan Yin. I love the flowers around the border there. Just a regal, beautiful depiction of Kuan Yin. Okay, here's another one that I'm a little nervous about the pronunciation. I believe that it would be Okamochi, the transformation card. There's a little bit of there's an animal face. I'm trying to remember the story of Okamochi, and she is the Japanese food goddess. And I know that I've read her story before, and I'm not remembering it right off the top of my head, but transformation does make sense to what I remember of that story. So yes, very nice. Yamana is the next card of balance, and she is a water goddess. Oh, just love that. Wonderful job. Temptation, and you know what? I'm not even going to try this one, you guys, because I couldn't, whatever. I'm just not even. Transformation. So she is the Javanese goddess of waters. And so that the imagery in the waves there, and how you can kind of see her, and you can kind of see that she's kind of mermaidish. You can see like the tail, her tail in the water. It's almost haunting in nature, this card to me. Now this next card is oppression, and it's the Wawalak. These are Aboriginal deities from Australia, I believe. Australian Aboriginal fertility goddesses. Very interesting there. We have the star next, and that's Inanna. Again, come on, you can't make much more sense than making Inanna the star, right? Oh, the imagery, the circle of stars. And then we have the moon in Diana. Again, it's a perfect pairing. I love those birch trees in the background. It's gorgeous. The Zorya for the sun. Now these are Slavic sister goddesses, I believe. Yeah, a trio of Slavic guardian goddesses who attend the sun god. I want to say that there might even be a link to them with like the fates too. I could be completely wrong, but next we have Judgment. This is the 20th card, and that's Guinevere. Very interesting imagery there. And then finally we have the World and Gaia. I hope that there isn't too much sun that you can't see the imagery. So I'm gonna, slide it around and hopefully you're getting it. I love the world. I love how it's almost as if Gaia is encircling it with protective veils of some kind, which could be like the ozone layers and things like that. And I like how there's a winter depiction at the top of the card and a summer depiction at the bottom, so you're like really getting a grasp of her, of Gaia as the world in all of her possibilities and stages and such. So that is the entirety of the major arcana, and of course the artwork is going to be pretty much the same throughout the minor arcana. I highly recommend this deck. It's gorgeous. If you're worried about the size, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's available in some smaller sizes. So I would say give it a look-see if you haven't done so already. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm going to duck in the house and hopefully duck out of this sunlight. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, because I mean, come on, you want to come back and you want to be alerted, right? So do that. If you're familiar with this deck and want to share impressions of or your experiences with this deck, I'd love to hear about it, so put that in the description box. You can also email me at heartofthewitchespath@yahoo.com. Be sure to check out the Instagram and the Facebook page. I'll link everything down below. Thanks for hanging out with me, watching, and thanks for walking the path for a little while with me. Until next time, blessed be.